There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, you gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast, the world famous Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you? How was your weekend? Oh my God, it was it was a busy one. Oh, question for Gilda already. Thanks, Laura P. Thank you for that. Let's just see who's in this morning, actually, very quickly. Lee McGrady. Now, this is the most important announcement of the show. Welcome to the world, little Eve. Congratulations, Lee and Sandra. Little Eve born, I think, on Friday. Friday, I think. But welcome to the world, little one. You are so beautiful. Your mummy and daddy are so proud, as I can see from Lee's posting of many pictures. And why not on Facebook? So welcome to the world, Eve. Well done, Sandra and Lee, the McGrady and extended family. Congratulations to you. What lovely news. Thank you very much, Lee, for sharing lovely pictures of little Eve. Fantastic. Congratulations, mate. I hope you smoked a big cigar and had a few beers. Well, what's new? Okay, mate. Congratulations. And yeah, do send in more pics. Okay. Yeah, a nice picky for this morning on WhatsApp. Your favorite picky of Eve would be fantastic. Let's officially welcome her to the world on Good Morning Portugal here this morning. So, Deagle, Paul, Nom de Plume, Sarah, Stephen Wells is here. Portuglish, Andrew, the aforementioned Laura P, and Banana Slug will be on this morning at 8:45. 9 o'clock sees the return of Gilda P. Coach Turner's in with a God Squad tip of the day, probably inspired by the Commonwealth Games, of course. I suspect he's got an eye on the Commonwealth Games and perhaps the ladies' football yesterday. They think it's all over. It is Frau. Get it? Matty, I don't know if you watched that yesterday. I'm not picking on you for any particular reason, my friend. It's an hola, bon dia, a todos. A feliz segunda-feira do Pombal. A segunda-feira do Pombal from you. Good morning, mate. So thank you, everybody. And why was I posting up Prazer de Freira? The pleasure of the nun. Let's have a quick look at that picture. We will return to it, but we've got so much to share with you this morning on Monday. Migration Monday, of course, with Gilda back from her holes, or maybe during her holes. She might be joining us from her holiday location this morning. We'll find out just after 9. And, of course, as I said, 8:45, not 9:45, 8:45. We've got the slug. What's he calling himself today, by the way? Let's just have a quick look. They call me Mellow Yellow. That's right. Slick. And then he's not got enough characters. We'll ask him in person when he joins us at 8:45. At 9:15, we may well have the great Garvo joining us to talk about tonight's wine. Yay! It's the return of the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club tonight at 9 o'clock. Do join the Facebook group of the Good Morning Portugal Food and Wine Club on Facebook. Perhaps, Garva, if you're watching, you might like to put the link to that in the comments, and then people can watch it and join us tonight. If you've managed to buy the Dow Red, which is Pedra de Gato, do join us. If not for all of the time, then some of the time, pop on and give us your conclusion, your verdict, your opinion on this cheeky start, somewhat outrageous start, I think, going straight to the Dow region, Mr. Austin. But Garvo will explain himself when he joins us at 9:15. And at 9:30, Mark's in the country, been counting down our farm, Portugal, finally here in Portugal. And if technology allows, he'll join us at 9:30 or thereabouts. So wonderful, wonderful show this morning. And so there's the wine. And we'll find out how... here's Manny. See how Mandela's doing when Gilda joins us. We've got... I'll come back to all of these, but the world's best Imperial Stout, made in Coimbra. This one. Thank you, Bill and Claire, for that. We have news of the traditional donkey race. Of course we do, in Ancash near Anadia. the week. When's that? That's going to be 17th of August, not for a little while yet. If you still need to get in some practice, lovely images. Look at that, isn't that beautiful from the weekend? A weekend that began with that rave, you might remember, on Thursday night, carried on Friday night and Saturday night, and maybe has launched the old Giffers Disco to run concurrently with that noisy event. Possibly, is it always the last weekend of July, maybe, that rave? So we can show the youngsters how to do it. All the folks who said to me, oh, you need just to get into the spirit of it. It's just a festas. Believe me, it was like no other festa I'd ever seen. But we can, I think that advice probably was right. If you can't beat them, join them. And maybe we'll have an old Giffer disco alongside it while all that noise is going on. Nobody will notice a thing if we have our own little shindig as well. A lovely new feature. Pictures from the Azores, from Tony Medeiros, who finally decided to break out of lurkerdom and join us full frontal with beautiful pictures from the Azores, which I'll bring you more of tomorrow. But there's a quick taster. The Azores, amazing, where Tony lives, and delighted that he is offering to share pictures with us. We go to Lagos as well for the Arte Dos event. Actually, I'll play a little video about that in just a moment, then we'll come to your comments, of course. And a great big pastry like that. That looks like a big mound of steaming dessert of some kind. Those ladies are quite proud of themselves because I think they made it into the Guinness World Record book. Come back to them. And here's something a little more modest. But that, my friends, is a nun's pleasure. There's no getting away from it, is there? Madonna comes to mind as well, but that's a cheeky little nipple of goodness on the top of that thing there. But sunflowers from the garden in Belfast, and news of a new meetup as well. So we'll come back to all of those slowly and steadily, but surely on this Monday morning. Perhaps I have peaked a bit early and got rather excited about being back with you this Monday morning. It was a rousing start, wasn't it? And who doesn't like a rousing start first thing in the morning? Cindy B's here as well. Morning, Cindy. Great to see you here alongside Antonio F, Jeff Hill, and Chris B. Jeff, I wonder, Connie, are you there? Yeah, Connie's here. Connie, would you do us the great pleasure of taking the baton from Jeff? Jeff was our guest on the first Thursday of the month, if that makes sense. We have a community get together for ask people who've just arrived in the country what their experience is like. They tell all. Jeff did this for us on the first Thursday of July, first Thursday of August. Where did that go? How did that happen? This coming Thursday, where Jeff, I hope, will come back to hand over the baton and talk about anything that he forgot to talk about last time, and face further questioning should anybody have questions that they didn't remember to ask or were too shy to ask. And perhaps, Connie, would you be happy, you and Hank, you could just set Hank up, couldn't you? We could do a Hank prank this morning while he's snoozing and just say, yeah, Hank's fine. He'll join you on Thursday. I'm going out drinking, says Connie, but Hank will do it, and he'll talk with Jeff about our experience here on Thursday. No pressure. It'd be lovely if you could do that. Emily in also. Darren, morning, Darren. How's it going? And I have to thank our man of reason, aka Gary Austin, and family for their hospitality on Saturday, getting about the country. Won't be able to make it. Okay, virtual baton, I think there. Let's find out. Let's hope we don't get crushing news from the Stalikas as well. No worries, Jeff. It was very gracious and kind of you to make the first one. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure it's going well for you in Porto. Let's go back then to what was I going to do for you next? I was going to play a lovely video from Lagos, wasn't I? Of that, the sweet art of Lagos. Let's have a little look at this while I finish off the remnants of my tea and delight you with some amazing confectionery from down in the south. Check this out, folks.
A Feira Concurso Arte Doce está de volta. De 27 a 31 de julho, Lagos volta a ser a capital da doçaria do Algarve. Venha viver experiências culturais e gastronómicas únicas. Doçaria regional, artesanato, tasquinhas e muita animação com música de Rui Veloso, Gabriel o Pensador, Dillas, Bárbara Bandeira e Marisa. Estão todos convidados. Momentos tão doces em Lagos.
Now that, my friends, is an event. Did you see that? Marisa, the climax musically of that event, and just so many wonderful things going on, revolving around sweet treats. Thank you, Clive, for sending that in. Sorry, I overlooked it at the end of last week, but we're going to have a look now. Look at this, Lagos. And these are some of the, what would they be? Entrants for the event. Styling the most incredible confectionery and sweets and desserts. It's a big do, isn't it? Clearly, it's a big do. And when it comes to big do's, they don't come bigger than this. Look at this. Do you still remember this image? This is the 2019 edition of the Arte Dos contest. So presumably that was the last time they had an outing with the said event. And of course, COVID then made it a little bit, well, not just difficult, prohibitive to show their great big desserts off like that. This one going down in history as the largest Dom Rodrigo in the world. So if you want to ask for that by name in a sweet shop, James, I think, is a partial to a sweet. Don't forget this one, the Dom Rodrigo, James. It's the biggest in the world, which was presented weighing in at 125.4. Don't forget those 0.4 kilograms there, which immediately entered the Guinness World Records. The tribute to this traditional sweet from Lagos was a wonderful moment as it delighted and sweetened the mouths of the visitors of this event. So no sooner had it been weighed and squadged into the Guinness World Record book as a worthy contender for the largest Dom Rodrigo. That's quite a niche, isn't it? It's probably kind of one of the largest desserts in the world, so surely. No sooner had it won that award, I think people were ready with their spoons and getting in there like Homer Simpson. But what surprises does this year's Arte Dos have in store for us? Visit us from the 27th to the 31st. You missed it for this year. That was a highlight, really, that I just showed you in the video there. That was what was ahead. Clive, if you've got any pictures of it from the event, do let us have them. Would appreciate it. That's from the municipality's Facebook page there. Fabulous, Lagos, well done. And just something a little bit more modest, as I was showing you earlier on. This is what Philomena sent in for us this morning, because there's been a lot of talk about nuns' breasts and trying to get to the bottom of that, if you see what I mean. And that is the prazer, the pleasure of the nun on a plate near you in Portugal as well. Fantastic. Thank you for thinking of us, Philomena. And while we're talking about learning the lingo, thank you also to John for a wonderful article, not filling your mouth and your belly here, but filling the conversation with words to embellish your Portuguese, spotted in the Portugal news. Thank you very much, John. I'll stick the link for that into the chat as well. No excuses here for not speaking Portuguese, folks. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, I tried to make a reservation on the Café Incendio, the Bombeiros Cafe here in San Martino de Porto. I wanted the in-laws to taste the sardinhas on Saturday. So I tried to make a reservation, and I did it straight from my Portuguese imagination, or my imagination about the Portuguese language, and was able to convey a fairly convincing and understandable reservation via Facebook, to which I was responded to in Portuguese. My cover wasn't blown. Fully booked, unfortunately, so we'll have to go in there next Saturday. Recommend it, actually. Very unassuming looking place, adjacent to the Bombeiros HQ here in San Martino de Porto. They do a wonderful, I'll have to show you the menu. They publish the menu at the beginning of the week, and then they're often fully booked or massively reserved. Anyway, you go in there and most of the tables got a reserved sign on them. Great job over there. Really looking forward to trying their food at Cafe Incendio. And obviously, I suspect, not obviously, but my guess is that the proceeds go from the cafe, the great food in the cafe, towards the efforts of the Bombeiros as well, who have remained busy with firefighting in the last few days since we were here. Yes, and we haven't even mentioned the weather yet. We'll have a look at the Portuguese weather, because it was hot over the weekend in Coimbra, 38. Thank you, Bill and Claire, for your pictures from Coimbra and enjoying the world's best imperial stout right there. And you'll see it. It is the Praxis Cerveja de Coimbra there. They thoroughly enjoyed that in the blistering heat of inner city Coimbra at 38 degrees this weekend. Superb. Thank you very much for that. Did I have a couple of other things to show you? I have loads to share with you. Oh, yes, very quickly then, the spinning event. We went from the rave to the spin, and a very calm and soothing and somewhat sexy finale to the weekend here in San Martino de Porto. This was going on, I think, on Saturday morning. That's what Pam was talking about, wasn't it? A spin, not just a spin class, 24 hours of spinning. So after a rave, after some spinning, it was lovely to have a walk on the beach, actually 2 days running, and I managed to take this lovely shot of the in-laws who are staying with us at the moment, having a little cuddle on the beach in the sunlight. Isn't that wonderful? They're almost heart-shaped there, a little bit like Deagle's sunflower in the middle there. Well done, Deagle, for growing a 7-foot, or somebody in the family growing a 7-foot sunflower as well. It's 8:45, folks. We'll come back to your comments because now it is time to welcome my friend, the mellow yellow one himself. If it's mellow, no, if it's yellow, let him mellow. No, that refers to something else, doesn't it? Let's move on. Where's his theme tune? Because that needs to be played right now, and I can't see it anywhere. I'm going to have to sing it if I can't find it. No, here it is. Here it is. That was a slick intro, wasn't it? And who doesn't like a slick intro first thing in the morning? How are you?
¿Cómo estás? ¿Tudo bem?
Tudo bem? Contigo?
Sim.
Should we keep going around in that circle? Muito calor. Isto é muito calor.
Muito calor?
We got to that moment, didn't we? We got to the Portuguese panic, but we've said hello and how are you in Portuguese, which is a great start. We'll keep working on that, James. How are you? How was your weekend, my friend?
Fantástico.
Fantastic.
Obrigado.
Okay. Did you have noisy neighbors? Because in sharing my predicament at the end of last week, you have a performance from your neighbors every weekend. Is that right?
Well, as soon as I mentioned it, they went away. So maybe we can attribute that to good, positive, send them on a fun journey somewhere else.
Yes.
But they weren't around this weekend. It was noticeably absent and welcomed.
Oh, very good.
And it's not that I don't like the music. It's just constant, the same music all day long, and you can't get away from it because it's just infiltrating the entire neighborhood. That's my issue. It's not that's the kind of music, because I like all kinds of music. It's just constant, persistent, never changing, same genre. Stop.
Yes, I understand. And not having any choice is a little bit difficult, isn't it? But it is incredible, the Portuguese people's resilience in such situations of being able to almost tune it out. You live with Portuguese people. What's their response to it?
They are much more animated about their hatred of it than I am.
Oh, really? But they tolerate it on
the local police know Louisa personally because she calls them when those people are too loud, and she calls them again and again and again and again. And I think that's a part of what's made it calm down. At least it got the music off at 10 at night. Used to go on, and then all of a sudden at 10, it just went off. So I think they got tired of being fined or threatened or whatever was going on. And from what Louisa tells me, the other neighbors don't care for it either. So she's not the only one complaining. And I think perhaps a team effort over time with the inclusion of the local police got them to calm down. We'll see. We'll see what happens next weekend.
How interesting. How very interesting. A quick hi, Gumpers and hi, Carl from OLP. Just wanted to say hi to all while we're still trying to get there for a recon trip, but sadly it's been put off again for a while. Oh, come on. Got to get back to bed. Well, nice of you to be here. Normally you join us for the gardening show. There's no gardening show tonight. I just want to show you something quickly, though. My boy, when we were at Celio de Porto, so in lieu of a gardening show tonight, a fashioned carrot from the clay of Celio de Porto. How about that? From young Master Munson there. Well done, Dix. Good job. I'll post that up on the Happy Homesteaders Get Out and Grow Facebook group as well. So no gardening tonight, but it is the return of the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club tonight. Garvo will be on later on to talk about that. What have you been thinking about, James?
Well, a little review almost always. We were talking about identity, self-identity. One thing I wanted to clarify is that my name is James. That's my birth name. It was on my birth certificate. So it's not like I just chose a completely random name from Jim to James. I just took the formal way of saying it,
Yes.
just so that's clear. And also, one thing that I wanted to mention about self-identity, I think it came up toward the end. Someone made some comment about, I'm always this, or it's always that way, or I can't, or I'm not that kind of person. Those kinds of self-statements that if we're attempting to change how we identify, what can be very helpful, and language, I believe, is very powerful when we reframe, is to say in the past. So you can still claim that you had these characteristics, but they were in the past. So
Yes.
instead of I always forget things, you can say in the past I forgot things. Right?
Yes.
Because I'm creating a new me. And I like James doesn't do that anymore. It's like in the past I did those things, or in the past I struggled with such and such, or in the past everybody expected me to be a certain way. So you can put that behind you and carry forward with the identity that you're choosing for yourself in a conscious manner. Obviously, this all requires that noticing. You have to notice that this is going on. And that gym talk I talked about, it's like, okay, no, that's in the past. That's what
I see you're doing two things there. You are creating a space for something new to happen, and drawing a line, aren't you? And creating distance is very good, isn't it? To not identify with, to put a space between yourself. And that's how we work with objects, isn't it? You are not the chair, because there it is over on the other side of the room, and you're looking at it. You are not identified with the chair. But we're perhaps not so smart when it comes to our behavior. We're sometimes fully identified with things, and we needn't be.
Well, and in psychotherapy, there's a lot of labeling in the diagnosing, and I don't diagnose. So, because I don't think anyone's broken or needs to be fixed. So I don't use that.
Sorry, that needed a round of applause. Nobody is broken and nobody needs to be fixed. Well said, sir.
Right. And I finish that with, and even if you did need to be fixed, I'm not the one who could do it. You're the only one who can fix yourself if there is indeed something broken. So it's just not that. So what was it about? Another train of thought pulled out of the station. So it had something to do with identification. Oh, mentioning that distance. It's like I'm not depressed. I have depression. Two very distinct things. I'm not whatever the diagnosis might be, but I have that thing. So it's more like I have a cold. It can go away. It can be healed. It can be changed. It will be altered. It's not a permanent state, and it's not a part of my identity. It's just something I have. So I approach it from that perspective in my work. I don't know how helpful that is, but for me, reframing is a powerful thing. It changes how we perceive things. So.
Yes, very, very good. No, loving it this morning, which leads then to the question, what exactly are we? If we're not X, Y, and Z, then what are we? Are we just the viewer of this masquerade that is in front of us? Should we get into that right now, I wonder?
That's a millennia old conversation. And the best definition that worked for me actually came from one of the founders of Challenge Day. She was back in middle school. She was asked to deliver a speech addressing who am I? And it's like, okay, that's an easy subject for a 12 or 13-year-old to wrestle. And she came up with, I am who I say I am, and have the strength and will to step into.
Ooh,
and I thought, man, I am who I say I am, and have the courage and strength to step into being, or to create into being. We are who we say we are. We're self-defining.
Indeed. That's a very nice way of putting it, because often with the philosophers and the spiritual types and the people who ponder these matters, and as you say, have done for millennia, it can be a little bit abstracted, can't it? And it can be a little bit too much over there, rather than the way that teenager has owned it. We are meaning-making machines, aren't we? Clearly, we do it every Monday at the very least. And we can own what we want to be and endeavor to be it, which is a little bit more active and exciting than just saying, I am a mere observer of the pantomime of life, or something like that, which sounds about right, but it doesn't really suggest much involvement or skin in the game, does it?
Well, it doesn't address my character, what makes me unique from other people while still connected to everything. Like, what is that? And who am I as a part of that? So my character, how I show up, how I behave is all a part of who I am too, not just how I observe the world around me.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not afraid to go there, are we? With these deepest of questions on a Monday morning. I mean, and on a Monday morning as well. Most people are just trying to get themselves together after a busy and heavy weekend. And there we are, pondering the biggest possible questions of mankind and the great questions of the millennia. Can we add to that? Are we going to nail it this morning, James? Should we just sort it out for humanity so we can move on with this?
Well, I was going to talk a little more about attachment, because we talked about that a bit last week, and that attachment is a source of suffering. So that consistent with I think that the issue came up around the music and whether we like it or not, and the persistence of it, all that stuff, and the suffering. And I will own the fact that I suffer in it because I'm not willing to let it go. If I could just let it go and say, hey, it is what it is, and it'll be done whenever it's done, and I don't have to be having this emotional reaction to it, then I don't suffer. So I was both in pain and suffering as a result of my willingness not to let it go. And that comes in, for me, the greatest work I've done around letting go of attachment is in expectation. I realized unconsciously that I was setting myself up with expectation after expectation in terms of the world around me. And we talk in the abstract about, well, what does letting go mean? What is managing expectations? What is the action of that as opposed to just the words of it? So an example that I use is I personally tend to be a very timely person when it comes to making commitments to meeting people and so on. If I say I'll be there at 10 a.m., I'll probably be there at 10 minutes before 10 a.m. As energetically for me, if I'm not 10 minutes early, I'm feeling late. And I was walking around the world like everyone is doing that or should be doing that. There's that should, which is an opinion of mine that judges others, that I wasn't aware of. I just walking around the world saying, well, people say they'll be there at 10, just like me, they'll be there at 10. And so I would be disappointed when they weren't, and then I would become judgmental that there was something wrong with them because they weren't. And then I would get angry about that and frustrated in it, and my quality of life would diminish as a result of that position around it. So I said, when I started becoming more conscious of this management of expectations, it's like, all right, so what do I do about that? Now that I've noticed, what kind of choice can I make around this thing called being on time? And I said, well, if you manage your expectation around it, if you change your expectation, then that could potentially prevent you from having a negative reaction to it. So in my life and in my experience as a therapist, whenever we try new habits, particularly in the way we think, there's this whole pendulum effect that we go from one extreme and we swing all the way across the other. And eventually this pendulum kind of finds a happy middle ground that works. So for me, I said, all right, well, if I am expecting people, if all the time I am expecting people to be on time and I realize that's not reasonable, then how about I go to the extreme opposite of that, which is they won't even show up. Right. Not only will they not be late, they won't even show up at all. And they won't tell me. That's sort of the extreme of that. So if that's my expectation, if I shift my expectation all the way over to that other side, that they won't even show up, then everything from there is a pleasant surprise.
Absolutely. You set your expectations very low.
Say again?
You set your expectations very low, and then people tend to surpass them, don't they?
Yeah, well, and then maybe they start not showing up. I don't know. But at least if I'm there, if I expect them not to show up, I'm not disappointed, even if they don't.
And you know what? I saw something recently where somebody had said, I need to stop expecting others to be me. And I didn't really understand it. And that's what you're talking about, isn't it? If you expect other people to be you and have the same standards, you will be disappointed in this life of ours, won't you?
Yeah, well, it goes along with many things around managing expectations, and that was it. I was expecting, and I've mentioned this before, the world to accommodate me the way I do things, that people will be on time, that people will do what they say, that people, like this is the way, because that's how I am, right? For the most part. And when I started doing the work, being conscious of it, I realized that was a pretty certain path to suffering constantly, because
Yes, well spotted, sir.
the world is not going to accommodate me, and I'll be far more successful if I make an effort to accommodate the world. So
yes,
if my observation is that most people are not on time, then, and I change my expectation to okay, they'll get here when they get here. That's somewhere toward the middle of it, and no upset in it. Then I'm going to suffer a whole lot less, because generally they do show up, and generally it's only 10 minutes late. And I've accepted that I would rather be there early and wait 20 minutes without being in a hurry and all, agitated and anxious, than get there right spot on, or for me in my life, even worse, 10 minutes late. I have actually tried to be late for people that are consistently late in my life, and I can't do it. I just haven't been able to. I said, all right, I'll leave later than I usually leave. I'll take my time. I won't worry about it. I'll find a nice parking space close to where I want to go. And I'm still usually there before they are. So,
James, I'm thinking this couldn't be quite difficult in Portuguese culture. It's 2 minutes past 9 and we need to get Gilda on. Let's carry on this conversation in just a moment. Yes, exactly. Where we are going on about, we're always on time, us, and we're keeping Gilda waiting. I can't believe the irony of this situation. I am me. The world is not me. I am what I am, and I accept both me and the world as we are. Helena, Sunflower, my goodness. James delivering gold today. Bummed I missed this while away, but I'm not. You can watch them all on replay. Me and James do. Thanks, you legend, James, this morning. So if you could give us... Could you give us the Will Rogers quote very quickly, and then we'll go straight into Gilda's theme? Do you remember it off the top of your head? Probably not.
No, I don't.
Will I find it? I'll find it. There you go, my friend. You've got your reading glasses.
It is better for someone to think you're a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. I thought that was great for both of us today.
How very dare you, sir.
It's Gilda P on GMP. Every Monday morning, her approach to self is oh so fine and always reassuring. It's Gilda P on GMP every Monday morning.
Every Monday morning.
Hello, James. How are you? So you never get late, but you got late today. 3 minutes, huh?
Yes. Yeah, it's Carl. I'll blame it on Carl. Carl's fault.
Oh, thank you very much. No, that doesn't fit in with what we've just been talking about, playing the blame game. Okay, James, that's your homework. Next week, the blame game. Discuss.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just imagine that how hard must it have been for you to get to Portugal when everyone is late?
Yes, absolutely. And you see you get the opportunity to witness the conscious change, because now I'm just laid back. That's more like I am. I mean, I still show up on time, but I'm not in a rush. I'll stand back and watch the guy look at 35 different cheeses to choose one to fill his cart with. It's like in the store.
Not bitter at all. Not bitter at all.
No, that's not. It's just, I'm just making an observation. That's, to me, it's like my language acquisition. Notice I'm improving. Yes, that's better me than I used to be. That's the me I choose to be, not the one who's like critical and judgmental and, oh, they're making me late or they're late. Nah.
Look at this. People are setting themselves up this morning. I am the same guy, always early. Person I get most annoyed with is my wife, because she's not that guy. No, she is your wife, not that guy. I'm just glad she's not a guy. I'm more grateful now. You've given him skills. You've given him a new life skill that's going to improve his marriage by the sound of it there.
Love the reframe.
10 a.m. If it's 10 a.m., it's 10 a.m. No, I'm not happy about this here. Carl is always tardy. This is what happens, isn't it? It's not true. I'm not always tardy. I'm occasionally tardy, but then this can happen, can't it? People start judging you harshly in this way. Okay, we've got the questions coming in for migration on Migration Monday. We need to find out how Gilda has enjoyed her little break from us. We missed you, Gilda. Hi, Gilda, from Michelle as well. Hope your vacation was great, Gilda. Welcome back from Connie. Bon dia, Gilda from Deagle. Bon dia, Gilda from Francis. And there'll be more of these as well, you can betcha. So how was your holiday? Do you need another holiday to recover from the holiday?
In fact, I need, and I will have more holiday.
Good.
So you will miss me more.
We will miss. Well, yeah, that's a really good strategy. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Christina was okay. She was okay. No, she was brilliant, actually. She was absolutely brilliant. I'm in a tricky situation here. You are both very good in your different ways. Did I handle that correctly, James?
Yes.
Help me out.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Very good. Love you both.
The show was in safe hands while you were away, so you can go away safely, Gilda. Did you have any reflections while you were away? Did you think to yourself, this is sometimes what happens, isn't it? You're away on holiday, but you can't help thinking about work. Did you have any of those big realizations, revelations while you were away?
I did.
Oh, do you want to share any of them?
Yeah, I think that I will need to book a consultation with James.
Okay, I'll just leave you.
You got it. What's going on, Gilda?
Take a seat, please. Take a seat.
No, because sometimes the worst part of running a business, it's not only the clients. It's more to handle the people that are working with you. It's very difficult. I'm the kind of person that I don't like the imposition. I don't like the leadership by imposition.
Oh, okay.
I like to see everyone happy, and I like to talk with everyone. And I know it's wrong. I understand now after this reflection of mine that is wrong, trying to keep everybody happy, because it's not possible. I've just came to that conclusion, hardest way, but that was what I was trying to do, and I've just realized these holidays that is not possible. Wow. So I am going to take some more time during this period of August, so I just can take a more reflection and try to find the strength to change myself and to change things as a leader to the company, so that I end to please everybody, and I start to think as a business owner.
My goodness, Gilda, I acknowledge you for saying that. I suspect James is very proud of you as well. Look at James's face. He is quite moved, as I am, by hearing what you've got to say today. Is that right, James?
Yes. And they're not mutually exclusive. You can be the leader of a business and still be a compassionate, understanding, personal human being with the people that work in your business. They're not mutually exclusive. And I'll give you this, just a reminder, you can't make anybody happy. Nobody except yourself. That's it. So you can let go of that expectation and just say, I'll do my best to make this as great an environment as possible for everyone. And then you'll succeed to whatever degree you succeed.
James, yes. Gilda, yes, this is amazing this morning. And you know what, Gilda, I have to say, I'm so grateful to you for being so authentic and open. And this is how it's been all the time we've worked together in this situation. You have not played the usual sort of commercial BS, pretending everything's okay and just coming on and a song and doing the migration shuffle and show business, smile for the camera, blah. When we've asked you how you are, you told us, which has been fantastic. And you've done it again this morning. There is no question. Your company is amazing. The testimonials today, your success rate and all of that. And people love you and love what you do, and they get fantastic results. And then you tell us this morning, which I think is fantastic. This is the new way. This is the new way for business people. It's to be open and honest. And I think it builds even more trust and credibility and love for your brand and you and your business. So well done. Thank you very much.
Yes, I do love my business, and I do love people that are working with me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm worried. Otherwise, I wouldn't be
Exactly.
telling this.
Yes, indeed, Gilda,
Because
marvelous.
you
So
care.
what a revelation. Yes, indeed. Yes, because she cares. There you go. Love you, Gilda. And I do love this about Gilda. She tells it like it is. Yes, whether it's how to grill sardines, whether it's how to move to Portugal, or how it's going on for her at the moment, she tells you like it is. Fantastic, Gilda. We might even get around to answering some migration questions this morning as well. But thank you for what an amazing start to this morning. James, do you have anything to add before you go?
No, I'm just, it's really great to see you again, Julie. We missed you. And I'll bring more next week and enjoy the show for the remainder of the day.
Oh, James, bless you.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, okay, we'll be
Well,
together in this street. Who knew a year ago that would be this loved up Migration Monday counseling session every Monday morning? It's fantastic. James, have a great week, my friend. We'll see you soon. Looking forward to it
See you
already.
soon. Bye-bye.
There he
Bye.
goes. There he goes. Oh, Gilda, so good to have you back. As we're saying here, Christina did a great job. Do send her our best. And what an amazing realization to have then, that you are so you love what you do in your company and your clients so much that you sweat so much about it, and then you're on holiday, and instead of having a lovely time drinking mojitos, whatever Portuguese wine, you're still concerned about what's going on back at base. So good luck with that, and that's that search and that quest for being the best boss and leader ever, which is how I'm seeing it, certainly. So yeah, where did you go on a more mundane note? Where have you been and how was it?
Well, I went to Portugal.
Oh, wow, fantastic! Yeah,
as I always do with my family. We had a great time.
Yeah.
It was awesome because it was still July, and I usually go on August, and it was much better in July.
Okay.
Although I faced this problem in Portugal this year. There was a lack of manpower working in the tourism sector.
Yes.
So it was very difficult to find a restaurant. We had to book a lot in advance, and we had to almost ask, please let us in, because there were no people working.
Wow.
And the owners of the business were the ones that were, serving at the tables, taking the requests, doing almost everything.
My goodness. But like the circus that I went to, the lady taking the tickets, taking the money for the tickets, you see her up on the high wire 20 minutes later. So that's what it's like in Portuguese tourism and hospitality at the moment. Incredible. And so hopefully that'll be righted. But that was that's a bit of a change, is it, over, well, not last year or the year before, because that was very different. But your earlier recollections of being on holiday in the south there in Portugal, we're lacking staff, are we? And we need staff over here in Portugal.
Yes, and I was a little bit concerned because, that's a very little town, and I know everybody, so I know the business owners, and I wouldn't mind to wait because I was chatting with them, and I knew the problem, but I was concerned about the tourism. It doesn't give a good image.
Okay. Wow. All right. So let's get straight into these questions. Sorry to rush you, but we've got Garvo waiting, who wants to tell us about the Wine Club wine tonight. But let's get a couple of questions in about migration, if we can get straight into these. Oh, no, actually, we don't, because we need to do a quick dad joke and say this morning, sorry to hear that T-Duck has had a bit of a dental drama. So all the best to you, mate. I did ask him what time he went to the dentist and wondered if it was 2:30, but no, it was a different time of day. And another dad joke here without any warnings at all. The people of Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people of Abu Dhabi do. Oh my God.
That's a great joke.
Question for Gilda. Even though Seth had and still has lots of problems, what? No, that is not news. On booking an appointment, how serious is it if one's Certificado de Cidadão Europeo is expired nearly 2 years ago? Asking for a friend, maybe. Okay, so how serious is that? Well, that's a bad time for it to freeze. Oh, no, you're back.
I was not freezed. I was just thinking. Well, I don't think it's bad, because now maybe you're talking about the British ones, and if it is the British ones, it has been, I think, 2 years or more that Cefits it doesn't have it doesn't open for the resident permits, so it can be a problem.
Yeah, and you're not the only one with this. I don't think it is British, but everybody who comes from another part of Europe needs to go to their
after 5 years. Yeah, after 5 years.
Oh, I see. But let's say the first one, the first certificate they have, which is the single piece of A4 paper with the European stars on it. If they move home, for example, they do need to re-register, don't they, in the local their next nearest camera, right? Or can they just wait 5 years after getting the first one?
No. After 5 years.
Oh, so once you've got your first one, you've got your first one, and then you just need to check in again after the 5 years.
After 5 years, yeah.
My goodness, there you go, Laura P. Sounds like it's okay for your friend there. So and a lot of people in the same boat. That's not to say that you might not face some pushback from CEF giving you a telling off of some sort, but you do have some factors and circumstances going in your favor, which I suspect is not going to get any better for a little while yet, which could be interesting. So you can breathe something of a sigh of relief, but I think that there's still an air of mystery around that. That's just where we are. That's just where we're at with all of this. Morning, Gumpers. Might need to start a consult with Gilda soon, looking like Christmas-ish in Europe. We'll take this as a kind of question then. So for moving to Europe at Christmas, when should they be talking to you? When should Darren be on the phone to you? It's leaving it a bit late.
It's September maximum, because in August everything is stopped, but in September.
Yeah. All right. So Darren, get on with it, mate. Don't leave it too late. Don't leave it the day before you want to move and fly out. Okay, you've got to get a few things in the pipeline before then. We have Gilda with us on Migration Monday, but it's an important, it's not a but, it's an and. It's an important day today because Gilda, the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, restarts today. And I think in some ways you were a fan of this endeavor. You kept an eye on what we were doing. You were quite interested in some of the wines that we were featuring. And I know you have a good grasp of Portuguese wine. I'm not starting a scandalous rumor of any kind. You do like a bit of Portuguese wine from time to time. Who doesn't? Let's face it. And we are restarting again tonight with the Cat's Paw Red from the Dow region. And here to tell us about it, if you'll permit us for a moment, Gilda, is the great Garvo, live. No, not from the man cave, from a different part of his home in Alvázora. Good morning to you, Garvo.
Good morning, people. Good morning. How are we doing? Hope you're all well. It's great to share the scene here with the lovely Gilda finally. I mean, it's just great, this place. Sorry to invade. Just wanted to just 5 minutes just to shamelessly plug tonight's wine because we're going out again live. And as you said, this is it.
Hold on, let me just give you do you like this one, Gilda?
I don't know that one.
Oh, I say. Okay, get a
Oh,
bottle of that to Gilda immediately, somebody.
Still available in Continent, I think, for about €6.5 thereabouts. Yeah. It's a Dow. Now, I don't normally like Dows. I will be completely honest with you. But this one, yes, I think so. Very quickly, it's supposed to be. I'm blind as a bat close up now, so I can't do it. Served between 16 and 18 degrees. So watch that because the temperature is absolutely important. It also says it unblocks sinks and cleans drains, but I can't say about that. No, it doesn't.
Sure, that's not true. Okay, all right. So, folks, join us for that tonight. And I'm just putting the link to the group. If you want to join the Food and Wine Club on Facebook, I'd love to have you in there, Gilda. How soon should people open this? You've got it, Garvo.
I would give it about 10 minutes before you open it. But if you're impatient, and I like to do this now, is when you pull the cork out.
Yes.
Smell the cork because you get a great aroma from the cork. Have a little taste, and sometimes with wines you'll think, "Oh my God, that's awful," right? But within say 10 minutes, it's changed completely. It just changes beyond recognition. I had a rosé which I took out the fridge. It was too cold, right? Poured a small glass to have a taste. And I thought, oh, Lord, this is like battery acid.
Yeah.
But within 10 minutes, it was beautiful, totally different wine. So try it, just experiment, and do what I do, and find out what it tastes like.
Fantastic. And that's from 9
One
o'clock
question.
tonight. Go on, Gilda.
One question.
We've got questions for you as well, but yeah, go on.
Did you used to like and talk about wines before, or only when you came to Portugal?
Good question.
I will be completely honest with you, Gilda, right? I was a devoted red wine drinker back in the UK, but white wine, no, would not touch white wine. Here, I can drink almost any white wine and enjoy it just as much as a red. So it's opened my world. And rosé this time of year is probably my favourite because it's fresh, it's beautiful, and there's so much spectrum of taste from rosés. It's wonderful. I think a rosé probably is the hardest wine to make, I would think.
Yes, it is. It is. If it is a good rosé, it's the hardest to make.
I agree. It
can go a bit syrupy, can't it? It can taste a bit off. Needs to be chilled, very chilled. Gilda, what are your recommendations for us then? We're starting again. It's once a month instead of once a week, which was quite a schedule. I think that's what finished us off last time, wasn't it? It was a heavy schedule. Once a month, first Monday of the month. The season 2 begins tonight at 9 o'clock. What would you recommend, Gilda, for us to taste?
I don't know. I stopped buying wine for a while, as you know.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, that's really unfortunate for me to ask you at this time. Okay. All right. But maybe when you're back on it, you'll join us one evening on a Monday.
But I've been drinking a little bit when I go out.
Okay. All right. And a little bit on holiday, presumably.
Yeah.
Okay. So from a non-personal point of view, as an ambassador for Portugal, what might you recommend to us? Red, white, or rosé, and then any particular favorites in that the Portuguese people like? I mean, Matheus Rosé, should we be drinking that every day?
We've talked about that.
Okay, no then. What else might people go for? A little bit unusual that they don't know. Liqueurs as well. We tried Beirão on the wine club and we loved it. We are converts to Beirão. Is there anything else we should try that's typically Portuguese?
This purple Moscatel de Setúbal.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to get... Can you write that down, Garvo? So we can try that Moscatel de Setúbal.
It's in here, mate. It's in here.
He's got it. He's got it. He's not going to forget information like that. Garvo, we'll see you tonight at 9. Thank you so much for being here from your wine cellar. Are those massive holes for the Jeroboams of champagne just to your left there?
No, that's where Terence keeps his wallet.
Careful it doesn't break under the strain,
right? Before I go, just 2 seconds, right? Continuing the sardine thing, right? I know you don't like your sardines messed around with, right?
No, go on. That's it. He's going. You can't come on here talking about sardines and you're humiliating me. Go on, mate. What?
No. But while nobody's watching, and I know you don't like things, just try a sardine just before you serve it and splash some dry cider on it, and tell me you don't like it.
Oh,
some dry what?
Cider.
Sidra. Dry cider, just a small.
Look at Gilda's face. Look. Hold on. She is not happy about that. Look at that.
No. You try it.
How do you do this, Bravo, to Gilda on a Monday morning, making us so uncomfortable? Drizzling cider on a sardine, Gilda.
Just a little. If you don't like it, send me an insulting email.
Yeah, okay. Get that email ready. Garvo, see you tonight at 9 o'clock. Okay, we need to talk about him now, don't we? What on earth was he saying there? That's a crime against Portuguese cuisine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And you look disgusted, and quite rightly so. Let's move on and draw a line under that sorry affair. And I'm so sorry you had to experience that this morning. Maybe I'd be the first to apologize. Garbo, 100 lines to you. I must never put cider on sardines. Repeat after me. Okay, migration. It's about migration, believe it or not, on a Monday, isn't it? And we've got another call coming in a bit later on. Somebody who's just arrived in Portugal. We need to see the look of beauty, beatific realization and satisfaction on their face. Mark will join us in a little while. But let's get back to those questions. We do have a God Squad tip of the day as well. Oh, importing updates. Oh, yeah, while I'm finding these questions, Gilda, what's going on at CEF? Anything? I guess you've been on a holiday for 2 weeks.
But I know. First thing, very important.
Oh, go on.
It's about IMT.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So there is a new law that enters in force today.
Oh,
That says that there is no longer the need to the exchange of the driving license.
hold on. Woo-hoo! Yep.
But not for everyone.
Here comes the big butt, everybody.
For the OA, how do you say that in English? OECD countries.
Oh, yeah. OECD countries. Not OCD, as I think somebody said before, because that's different.
Yeah. And the driving license must be issued before 15 years. So 15 years is the maximum.
Okay. Right. So, yeah.
And the owner of the driving license must be less than 60 years.
Oh, so that does catch quite a few people then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, yay, great. Hold on a minute. 15 years, 60.
Yeah.
Oh, but then what do they have to do? Should they find themselves over 60? And I don't mean to labor the point, but our demographic here does point towards people being possibly over 60 or heading in that direction quite quickly. What do you do if that is the case? You have to go and do a swap, as was the case previously.
Yes, but this is going to change, because then it's going to be less crowded. Yes. And look, the major of the people are Brazilians.
Yeah.
And are under that age.
Yes, true.
So I believe that I'm sure that this is going to decrease a lot the work, and it's going to speed up things.
Okay, so if your license is more than 15 years old, we're talking about here, yeah? Or if you're over 60. You
need to do the same process.
There you go, British people. What a lovely way of meeting other old British people. Meet the IMT office in the future. Take wine. No, don't take wine. Just take sandwiches and a copy of the Daily Mail, and you can meet new British people in the IMT office. Positive reframe on that. Okay, read a lot. Thank you for that, Gilda. Was that everything about Seth, or was there something else that you wanted to?
No. Another thing is that there is the new law about the digital nomads was approved.
Oh, okay. That's quick.
Yeah, that was quick. But it's not going to be enforced yet, because it needs to be regulated.
Yep. Okay.
So when it's going to be regulated, I will give you more news about it.
But it's been passed as law and has yet to find its bureaucratic reality.
Yeah.
Like okay, very good. Thank you for that update from the CEF there. Let's go to the airports now. Read a lot of travel issues at Faro due to British passports being checked, stamped while EU going through fast. 3 planes landed fairly quick, causing long waits. So I guess there's not a lot we can say about that, apart from take a book and, again, some sandwiches, because the Brits are being held up because of something called Brexit. You may have heard of it. Now, finally, I was driving somewhere yesterday thinking to myself, I know, I should say, when Gilda arrives, get into the habit of saying, hey, because, of course, now we fully understand that the greeting and the play on words that is accessoria migratoria A. So there you go. Well done, Chris B, for leading the way with that. We all want you to say, when you see Gilda, because it's like her catchphrase, hey, Gilda. That would work well, wouldn't it? Let's get some more questions in from the migration point of view. We've got Mark waiting to talk to us from Central Portugal as well. Oh, this is a pronunciation help here. In Portuguese, the penultimate syllable is usually the accented one, unless you have a diacritic mark, of course. Oh, an accent. Thank you. Then that one is the accented syllable Lagos, for example, Lisboa, Martinho. Is that not what I said? I would think I was saying Lagos, wasn't Lagos rather than Lagos. Thank you very much for that. Anyway, nom de plume, Sarah. Very good. Would you agree with that? Because not all Portuguese people do, right, Gilda?
Yeah, but it's correct.
Okay, good. Excellent. Just checking. We have the car importing update as well. Thank you, Andrew, for that. Hello, Isa Al here, or Isa AI. Hello, one of the D7 requirements by VFS is proof of means of subsistence and lodgement. Is a notarized bank statement in Portuguese and registered lease enough? The VFS doesn't know what's meant. What Does this happen? The VFS don't even know what's meant by it sometimes. Which one are we talking about?
Notarized bank statement in Portugal, of course, it's more than enough.
Yes. Okay.
Registered lease agreements, yes, it is enough.
Okay.
But VFS sometimes doesn't know what he's doing. Okay,
Oh.
because it is a company that is outsourcing for the visas, and sometimes working with this a lot. And I'm not just saying, out of my mouth. It's my experience. People that work at VFS sometimes don't have the experience and the knowledge to know about these documents. Okay, so you need to insist and write a letter, and sometimes copy the consulate. Okay, because if you have a copy of the registration of the lease agreement, it's according to the Portuguese law, and it cannot be more legally than that. We had the case just like that, and it was, I guess, it was in India. I don't know if that is the case. That we had proof of the payment of the rental agreement. We have proof that the rental agreement was registered in the tax office, and they said that they would deny because they didn't have enough proof of the lease conditions.
Yeah.
And of course, we had to write a letter saying that according to the Portuguese law, everything was okay, and of course they had to accept it.
Of course, pushback, a courtesy of EI there and team Isa. Good question. Thank you for asking that and making that point such that Gilda could respond to it. Sometimes the VFSs do not know what they're doing because, as you say there, Gilda, they're outsourced and they may not be correctly trained or new to the job or something of that nature. So it is worth pushing back and having a second go and knowing the law and having good representation. Sounds like you might be working alone there, but now you know what to do, Isa. Al or AI. We will come to your question in just a moment. Maria AB, thank you for that. Amelie, we've got your update to come as well. And Sushu 1404 with questions. But we need to go very quickly to Central Portugal now and say hello to our good friend Mark, our farm Portugal. Good morning to you, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing very well, but more to the point, how are you in Central Portugal there? It looks very lovely, my friend.
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm sat in a park in Olares,
Yes.
which is, for those that don't know, it's halfway between Castelo Branco and Tatar. And yeah, absolutely loving it so far. I arrived late on Saturday evening.
Yeah, he's got that grin on his face. Gilda meet Mark. Mark meets Gilda. He's got that grin on his face, hasn't he? That says, my dreams to move to Portugal have finally come to fruition. My life is complete. You look a bit like that, Mark, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm just absolutely loving it. So, from what I gather, a lot of people, I made the decision to move to Portugal without even visiting the country.
Yes.
Wow.
I had two orientation visits, one in September, one in March, and but 2 years ago, I just woke up one morning really and said, you know what, I don't want to stay in the UK any longer. Started the process, and literally almost 2 years to the day, I'm here. I couldn't move quite as fast as other people, but yeah, no, absolutely loving it so far. So
brilliant. And did you do the D7? Were you in the post-Brexit scenario where you had to do a D7?
So I had to do the D7. I didn't use I. So sorry, Gilda.
Yeah, get rid of him now, Gilda.
But I'm one of those people where I need to understand what I'm doing. I need to go through the process very fully myself. To me, a lot of it is actually is the learning.
Yes.
So I went through, so I did it all myself. I had no problems. I went through London. They came back asking for one additional piece of information, which was just clarification. And 2 weeks later, I received my D7. And I've also worked, I see comments from Andrew Gilchrist with regards to bringing vehicle over and so forth. I've also worked with the consulate in London to get my baggage certificate and indeed the tax certificate for the car, because I actually drove over from the UK on Friday, Saturday. So
amazing. Now, this man is quite incredible with his attention to detail. I don't think this process is for the faint-hearted, but Mark, you are, as you say, you're an immersive learner, aren't you? You love to get involved with all the nitty-gritty. But I guess for people, broader brush people, they might like the help of Gilda and team. It's not for the faint-hearted, I suspect. But however, that said, London are doing very well, aren't they, Gilda, at the moment?
Yes, London and Manchester are great consulates to work with.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Good to know for the Brits there. Even though you might have to wait 12 hours in the airport, the D7 part of the process is a little bit speedy. So why Central Portugal, Mark? Can you tell us a little bit about your new life here? Why did you choose that part of the country?
So I honestly, I pretty much sort of stuck drew a line from north to south, east to west, and literally smack bang in the middle of Portugal. And I thought, right, let me start my first visit there. And again, if you actually do a line from north to south, east to west, then Oleiros, Satar is pretty much smack bang in the middle of the whole country. So on my first orientation visit, I went up and around Castelo Branco, Guarda, and that sort of area, and then moved across to Satar. I had a friend up in Figueira de Vinos, who she was running a business at the time. So I spent some time over there, and actually I just sort of prefer this particular part of the country. So my second visit, which was in March, I literally focused the whole time in and around Satar, which I think is a lovely town, as is Oleiros, where I am at the moment. And I've really just sort of expanded it from there. So at the moment I'm renting. I am, last time I was over at Carl, we met up and you just turned around and said, look, if you can't find somewhere, just get the first thing. And lo and behold, I'm paying €300 for a 2-bed house in central Portugal, which has got me my D7 visa. So, and I know that is one of the biggest challenges is getting the fixed address. Absolutely. So I just bit the bullet, did it, and 3 months later I'm actually here, so which is brilliant.
That is so good to know. So €300 gets you a T2 and somewhere to live for the purposes of your D7 visa in central Portugal. That sounds fairly manageable. Is it hot enough for you there?
Yeah, I think to be honest, I don't really look at the temperatures. It's hot. I think everybody, almost every other post is, so it's 35, 40 degrees and so forth. Look, it's sunny, it's hot, it's going to be hot. At the moment, it's just, it's beautiful. And I'm sure that during the colder winter months, then it's going to be cold. But, that's it, isn't it?
We will see, won't we? Because you're documenting your journey. Just finally, then, how can people stay in touch with your journey? Because you are going to be sharing it, I think, on a YouTube channel and possibly blogging it.
So when I first started the journey, I set up a personal blog on, and I just literally write for myself. And it was very much almost just me doing a diary and then putting it online. And so my blog is Our Farm Portugal, OURfarmportugal.com, and I've been blogging pretty much since day one, so a couple of years now, and I endeavour to sort of get a post up every week. A large part of it is obviously been around the background, why the steps that I've been going. So for example, there's a number of sections on there with regards to the D7. There's the towns and so forth that I actually visited, and actually I do it for myself. I do it because I'm a bit younger than the 60-year-olds who need to worry about a driving license, so that's obviously great news. but I turned 50 and I just wanted to do something completely different. It's as simple as that.
And here he is. He's done it, folks. For those of you who are thinking, should I, shouldn't I? This is a man who's done it. You can keep in touch with his journey, ourfarmportugal.com, and pop back from time to time, Mark, if you will. Congratulations to you. Parabéns, bem-vindo, and have a beautiful life here in Portugal, my friend. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Super, brilliant. Thanks ever so much. Thanks for having me. Take care.
See you, mate. There he goes in central Portugal. You can see that lovely sunshine behind him. Do you find it too warm over there, Gilda, at 40 degrees of blazing heat, or are you coping well with the hot temperatures at the moment?
Me?
Yeah. It's just you and me now. Do you like that central Portugal heat?
I'm well with the heat. I come from Africa.
Right. Yes. Yes. Okay, I forgot. Yeah. Okay. And now I understand why that was such a stupid question. Okay, let's move on. I want to apply for a D7 visa. Cheers, Mark. Have a great day. But I know many people who got rejected by the embassy in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi do. The reason was não prova a intenção de investimento em PT, even though they have a funded bank account in Portugal, registered lease agreement, and enough passive income. What does this mean? Does a D7 require an investment? I'm worried about this. Maria AB.
No. Can you go back, please?
Yes, there we go.
For the D7, it doesn't make any sense, this kind of rejection, because this kind of rejection is a rejection for a D2, where you need to make an investment to have the visa approved.
Yes, indeed. Okay, all right. And I think that just about sums it up there for Maria, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a part.
Okay, does the D7? There you go. So that's sorted, Maria. If you need any further clarification on that, do let us know. Amelie promised an update. Carl, says Amelie, in Korea. Look at this, Gilda. Korea. The Korea embassy said the reply we received from Portuguese SEF, final approval will be on or before August the 5th, 2022.
Yes, we've been following Emily for a long time now.
Yes. Okay.
Let's see if it's coming.
However, considering that there has been no request for additional documents so far, it will be approved normally. What does that normally mean?
Well, it means that it will be approved on the time. Since you sent your process, it will be approved under the 60 days.
Okay, there you go, Amelie. I think the things are moving in the right direction for Amelie there, aren't they? Do you feel confident about that one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too. Okay, thank you for your update, Amelie. And Sushu1404, because it's very hard to find remotely and expensive. Oh, that's the second part. Here's the first part. Hi, Gilda and Carl. Very good morning, Gilda. How are you both? We took 1 year lease agreement for our upcoming appointment in VFS Delhi, even though I'm not very much fond of that place. We took it because it's this is what Mark was saying, isn't it? Because it's very hard to find remotely and expensive. Can you please tell us, after coming on 4 months visa, can I change the address, or will I need to be in the same address before our SEF appointment? Great question, Sushu.
You can change, but first of all, if you have 1 year lease agreement, you need to respect at least 3/4 by law. 3/4 of that agreement, which means 9 months. Or you can get into an agreement with the landlord.
Okay, but honoring it means paying it, though, doesn't it? So you could have 2 leases going if you wanted to move. You just have to pay the remainder of the other one, right? Yeah.
Yes. This means that the lease agreement that you showed for the visa purpose doesn't need to be the one that you show to SEF.
Yes. Okay there. Sushu, hope that helps as well. Any further clarification, you know what to do. Laura P. Gilda, being a leader is never easy. Oh, this is going back to your earlier comments, Gilda. Sometimes you have to be hard with your team to have things done properly, having customers in mind. It's a heavy backpack a leader has to carry. There you go. Hola, bon dia from Chris, who wants you to stay another 15 minutes to make up for not seeing you for the last 2 weeks, Gilda. The Faja Dodias Luther Vandross Super Lady, dedicated to you, Gilda. How about that? How was Burgal? Any news about the Brits and the withdrawal agreement? driving license exchange, etc. Biometric cards. We've dealt with a driving license exchange. You're under 60 just there, Chris, so you're going to be okay. Any news on the biometric card thing, or no news is bad news with that?
No news. No news about that. But I think in September we will have. Well, I keep saying that because I'm always positive, but...
And hopeful. Okay, the migration seaweed is showing a possible September change there. How was Portugal, by the way? Yes, you mentioned Portugal with a big smile on your face. Those who know it love it. And there is, I forget the gentleman who we featured on the show, but he cooks at the sailing club. A fantastic chef, Zeferino, I think is his surname, Senor Zeferino. Portugal was lovely, wasn't it? And presumably lots of lovely fish consumed and enjoyed there, Gilda.
Yes. Fish and sea fish.
Oh, fantastic. Wendy with a bon dia. Good morning to you, Wendy. How are you doing? And thank you for the language help from James. I thought the same thing about Lagos. So happy to know I understood it correctly. So everyone was quietly judging me when I was saying that. Rebel Mama's in. Hola, Pachol. Ultra dia quien. Another hot day. And another fire there. So sorry to hear that. And Andrew was saying, yeah, big fire near Lisbon over the weekend. Be careful, folks. Staying with the migration, no for the moment. I'm 24 years old, self-employed. I want to move to Portugal on a D7 visa. How much savings should I have in my home country and Portugal? And how much passive income to get accepted since I'm not retired? Asked Sabrine Lilly. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Okay, Sabrine, this may have changed now with the digital nomad because they are going to change the rules from the self-employed, and I think that they are going to keep the D7 visa only for passive income. Okay, but for the time being, you need to have at least 705 euros a month. In Portugal, at least 16,000 euros in a bank account, and depending on where you are in the country, some consulates are accepting the minimum of savings, 50,000 euros.
Okay, so there you go, Sabrine. Again, as with everybody, hopefully that's nailed your question there. But if you've got any more, if you need further clarification, you know what to do. Finish my coffee, says Matty. Need to get started with my laundry list of tasks for the day. Have a good day and see you tomorrow. Cheers, Matty. Thanks for being here this morning. And Gilda, we have a question for you from Rebel Mama. We didn't realize we needed to change the address with Seth and have tried to call for a while. We went down to Viana do Castelo office and they told me to email. I hope that will do it. What do you think?
I always do it by calling them. I never tried by email because I don't think that they will answer. But
okay, so I think there's yes, all right. So keep calling. Although, yeah, I mean, you've done the email, which I guess you've got a record there, an electronic record of endeavouring to do that. But on the broader point, then, if you change address from the address that Seth have, they need to know where you are, right, Gilda?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Ubi's in. Bon dia todos from Ubi as well. And I think that's Sushu asking the same question again there. Yes, it is from you. I will fulfill the criteria as my landlord agrees to cancel the contract after 4 months. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You need to just basically fulfill the agreements that you've made. And like I said before, there's no harm in you getting another lease. You'll just have to observe the letter of the law in terms of fulfilling the contract that you've gone into there. Shanu, good morning to you. Shanu Himasha, good to see you again, Gilda. When applying for a D7 visa, should the address in the bank account equal the address in the visa application? Why would that not be the case, Gilda, and is that a problem?
No, it's not a problem. I'm going to give you an example. Many of our clients that open a bank account remotely, they either give their addresses in their country of origin, or they give the address of our office. So it's not a problem because first they open the bank account and then they find the lease agreement. Okay,
there you go. And has everything settled down now after the bank account gate of before in these last few weeks that you managed to put right single-handedly?
Yes, it's working.
All good. Okay, there you go.
It's a little bit slower because now they send everything to the compliance department, but it's working.
Okay, that's where sometimes paperwork goes to die, isn't it? The compliance department. Well, anyway, after making an appeal for a D7 visa, is there a legal deadline to hear back from the embassy or CEF? Do they take as much time as a new D7 application, or how does an appeal work? Thank you for that question, Noor.
An appeal can take much more time, okay, because it comes to Portugal, to the new authorities. I think it can come up to 6 months.
Okay, sorry, that's not better news there, Noor. But there is a limit. Can you make an appeal about your appeal? Does it get to that?
No, but you can make some emails trying to force.
Okay, and on that note, Gilda, we haven't talked about this for a long time because we're talking about CEF and the three, I think it's at least 3 attempts to change it, to kill it off and start it again, were delayed. Any news from that department of the reorganization or in that area? Is there any news of the reorganization or the evolution of the service, or should we just assume that we're not going to hear anything for a while now?
Well, we are not going to hear anything for a while because they postponed it for 1 more year.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's official. The year's postponement was official from before the summer. Okay. Gilda, do you see any, this comes up more and more now, doesn't it? I think the growing demand in Portugal has some people wondering, a bit like AGL here, do you see any future changes in the D7? I am retired, have great monthly income, but don't have the savings Portugal requires. Oh, okay. So AGL is hoping for a change that would deal with the savings part. What do you think, Gilda? Is that likely? Are they likely to give up on the savings part, or is it likely to become a little bit more stringent in the future?
Well, the law, it's not going to change because it has just changed now. Yeah. And it's not very common to change the foreigners law. Yeah. So it has been changed now. It's going to take some time to change again. At least it has been like that the past years. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to change, but I don't believe that they are going to ask for less money for the D7s. On the other way around, they are going to ask for more.
Okay, which is a prompt possibly to some people to get on with the process. You know, if you can possibly not wait, don't wait. And you need to find EI in our business directory, of course, and I'll put that onto the screen for you so you can find out exactly how to get in touch with Gilda and team this morning. Where are you? There you are. That's on there for you at the moment. So yes, go to the business directory, get help from the professionals. Hey, Asesoria Immigratoria. And where are we in the comments now? We have got a lot coming in. Usually the way, Gilda, coming towards the end of the show, and a surge of comments and chats to get through. What's this? Quietly judging myself, Carl. Not everything is about you. Okay. Well, thank you for that reminder. Tiago Zeferino in Portugal. Thank you very much for that, Paul. Thanks for coming to my aid on that.
I went there.
Oh, so to Tiago Zeferino's. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, it's in a club, right? It's at Portugal.
Yes, the sailing club. That's right. Yep. In a sailing club. Fantastic.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, and were you impressed? Did you like the food?
Yeah, I did. I had lots of petiscos. How do you say?
Petiscos, little snacks. Yeah, sort of almost like tapas, right? Portuguese
yeah,
tapas.
But everything seafood. Very good.
Yeah, very nice. So shout out to Tiago. Thank you, Paul, for that. Gilda, are you able to stay for an extra 15 minutes there, as we haven't seen you for 2 weeks? And they are suffering, or Chris is suffering from withdrawal symptoms, as we have mentioned. She's probably got a massive pile of work to do and a team to love and look after. So probably not this morning. What have we got here, though, for the questions in the last 6 minutes that we do have remaining to us? Noor A, we got to that, didn't we? AGL, we got to yours as well. Fantastic. And thank you, Rebel Mama, for your help on that. Moscatel de Chetubal, muito bom, from Helena's Portuguese Lounge Corner. Okay, we'll deal with that one evening, i.e. drink it and taste it and test it on the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club. One of these first Mondays. I was thinking it's Friday for some reason. First Mondays of the month. Antonio F. Smell smoke, but saw no fire. A small fire nearby, although there was a big one near Mafra. Yeah, do stay careful, everybody, and alert. Please be prepared for such situations. It's not over yet. Sardines, yum from Deagle, but not with cider. Apparently that's Carl's not drinking again look that you gave, quite rightly too, I should say, Gilda, to Garvo there. How many of you expats know where the city of Praia is? Not me, Ubi. Maybe you could enlighten us there. I always wonder why you don't see Portuguese cider, what with all the apples around it. Sorry, it's not migration, but it's quite important, Gilda. Portuguese cider, it is a thing, isn't it? Or is it not that popular? Are you drinking more of the imported cider here?
Actually, we only started drinking cider like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Some catching up to do then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ubi saying
we only did that at the Irish pub.
Really? But that's so not Irish. There is a real sort of cultural dissonance going on there. But it's a conversation for another time. Maybe we'll pick it up briefly tonight in the wine club. We've got to talk about migration now. We've only got a few minutes left. Thank you, Ubi, for your comments about Praia there. And I know we do have some more questions coming in, and we must get to them. I am a Marine. For example, I'm a Marine warranty surveyor. Have rented a house in Spain for €900 a month, tutoring online for Marine aspects. What's this? So you're talking about your income here, aren't you? Not just boasting about how well you're doing, I think, for the purposes of a question to Gilda. Offshore world, broaden your knowledge. All 2 years extendable and 3 month work monthly, 40K. Correction, 40K per 3 months a year. But maybe you are just boasting about your income, because I can't see the rest of the question there. We'll come back to that and see if there is any more after we've talked to William Smith. Question: after 5 years temporary residency, COVID-19 impact, what is the process to convert to full permanent resident? Get in touch with A, right, Gilda?
Yeah, or he could even get the citizenship.
Okay, after 5 years. But so to give you a call and find them in a business directory, William Smith, EI there. Mommy's Boo is in. Bon dia, Gilda, Carl, my family and I are coming in for our Golden Visa biometrics. Sounds really special, that, doesn't it? It sounds like a Bond movie almost. Golden Visa biometrics. Appointment in 2 weeks, and I wanted us to stay back and enroll our kids in school. But we've been told it's not possible, and we'll have to wait for our residency card first. Not a question, just a statement. Oh, no, it is a question. How long does it take to get residency card after biometrics for Golden Visa? Sorry, Gilda, go ahead.
It depends. It can take a little. It depends. It can take up to 90 days, but it's not totally true that she can enroll her kids in school.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if they are minors, you can enroll them in school. Okay. Even though if they don't have the resident permit yet.
All right. But how long does it take to get residency card after biometrics for Golden Visa, generally speaking? Have those queues and has the attention for Golden Visa people improved at all?
Yes, they have improved. Okay. That was something that has improved.
Good news. Pam wishes she'd kept a diary of the early days, I think referring to Mark there. Do it, folks. Blog, diary, journal, your early days. They are so precious here. Bon dia. Question for Gilda regarding the change with IMT and the driving license. My US license expires in 2 years. If I don't exchange my license in the first year of residency, do I have to retest again? Good question, SD. Gilda?
I think so, but I'm not an expert in the driving license.
But Carla is your colleague in the team there.
But if you send a message, I will.
All right.
Yeah.
Akin Bansal, I've been trying to get in touch with EI team for D7 visa requirement from India, but not able to make contact using phone and email. What's the best way to reach out, Gilda? Thank you very much.
Okay, you send an email and you put on the comments. This was because I was away. That you've talked to Gilda on the show.
Very good. Thank you very much, Ashin. You know what to do now. Ashin Bansal. Chris Tully. Hello, Chris. What's this about Abu Dhabi? We're expecting some news in the next 15 days. Hope Abu Dhabi is not a difficult embassy. By the way, A has been amazing. So what's your... we did ask Christina about her favorites. I think San Francisco were near the top. India was near the bottom. How do you rate Abu Dhabi there, Gilda?
Abu Dhabi used to be better, but... as soon as the request is raised, they have now been with these silly denials.
So not the worst, but not the best either. Is that one way of putting it? Not as good as they used to be, Chris. Good luck with that. Sorry, that's not better news, mate. Good morning from Maria. Well, we've talked to you already, Maria, but says here, Gilda said that the new digital nomad law has passed. Will this affect the current D7 applications that are being processed at the embassy? It won't really, will it, Gilda? Because you're choosing one or the other, and the digital nomad process hasn't been finalized yet.
Well, I hope not. I hope that the embassy is not going to be that dumb.
Yes.
But
okay. But you never know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go, Maria.
Because sometimes what happens is, and I've seen this with other visa process. Sometimes what happens is the process is there. And I don't want to scare anyone, but the process is there. There is a new law, and they say, okay, this now is going to wait for the new thing. Okay,
there you go. Aid is in this morning. Bon dia, everyone. And yes, Prior is in Cabo Verde, Cape Verde, I believe. Shano Himasha. Thank you, James and Gilda, this morning. Ashin, we've dealt with that. Aid says our SEF appointments in September are the same day and same time. Wife and 2 kids are in Coimbra. I'm in Braga. This happens, doesn't it? What to do about this situation when your spouse, even though your appointments at the same time and same day, they're in different cities? Can anything be done about that?
Yeah, you can call SEF and try to move the appointments for the same day. What is going to happen? It's that it's not going to be it's not going to be for the same date. It's going to be postponed. For instance, you have an appointment for September. You call to SEF to be for the same day, and it's going to be for the same day like in November.
Right. Okay. So what would you suggest to aides? Just to honor the appointments that have been given so as not to miss them?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not ideal, Aid, but it means you are getting your appointment and you can crack on and do it. But you can ask for another appointment.
And also another thing that has been happening, and this is very, very unfair, is that because it's holidays time and the SEF, there are a lack of manpower. What is happening is that people have appointments for those days, and they are rescheduling.
Okay.
So people they are ready for the appointments, and then they are rescheduled for another day.
All right. Thank you for that, Gilda. One more quickie, then. I know it's 3 minutes past 10. Thank you so much for being here this morning. You've hit the ground running, back from holiday, and we have a quickie from Deagle here asking about short-term stay. Okay, Gilda, can one rent short-term, say 3 or 4 months, return to Belfast, then go out and rent again 3 to 4 months of each year? Oh, I think this is instead of having holidays, renting. You don't have to be a resident to rent property in Portugal, do you?
No,
but you will have to get a NIF number and have, for the purposes of the rental agreement.
Yeah.
Do you think that's unlikely, though, Gilda, that a landlord is going to want to rent for such a? It does sound more like the Airbnb end, doesn't it? A longer sort of rental, a longer sort of B&B stay rather than an official lease.
Yes, or someone in the Algarve that wants to rent a place for winter.
Yes, indeed. So that might work, Deagle, for a winter let. Yes, good call. Gilda on that. So yeah, it might be a win to let, or you could go into maybe a partnership, a collaboration with other members of the family and rent a place for the whole year and do your own little timeshare on something like that. That could work as well. I think that's it, Gilda. Is there anything else you would like to add, say, on your wonderful return to our screens this morning?
No, it was any news on the family? No, not yet.
Okay, all right. She's still answering questions while saying goodbye here. Thank you, G. Raja, for that. Are D7 applicants from India having a positive outcome or no? Please throw some light. Can this be a positive comment at the end of the session this morning?
Yes, after 9 months or something. After
Okay.
9 months of the application.
All right, that's nice and straight and realistic for you there, Animish Music. Good to see you here this morning. Here's a lovely comment to end on. Hi, Gilda. Looking very fresh today. A little 2-week holiday
thank you.
is doing you some good there. So, Gilda, thank you very much. It's time to rave our way out of here and look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you ready to dance?
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, Gilda, what were we thinking? How's this little guy before you go?
Oh, I didn't want to talk about it. I'm so sad.
So should we not talk about it?
Well, you know that he stayed in a farm.
Yes.
From the how should I say, the person that created him, where I went to pick up
the breeders, yeah.
And he came back very ill from there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So maybe because he's a dog that he's very spoiled and
very sensitive.
Very sensitive,
Yes.
and he's used to be at home, and he was in a very big space and with other animals, and he came home very sick. He could hardly move. He's very quiet, and now he has all these spots on his face.
Oh, poor little guy.
Yeah, and I've been taking him to the vet every day yes, every day no. He doesn't seem like the same dog.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We're ending on that note, but do send him all our love and a little stroke. I just think, that's probably was quite a shock to his system after being such a pampered pooch. But given that he is a pampered pooch and you're giving him lots of love now, Gilda, I'm sure he'll have a speedy recovery. But we're sorry to hear that this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So with lots of love to little Manny, to little Mandela, and a big hello and lots of love and best wishes to all the team there in the capital. Have a great Gilda. Time to snap the glow sticks, put on those neon leg warmers, and dance our way out of Migration Monday. Cheers, Gilda. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Okay, thank you, Gilda. Sending love to little Manny there. I wonder what we can do for him. Probably not good to send him anything he can eat at the moment. But yeah, lots of love from the Gumpers to little Manny. We'll find out how he's doing next Monday. I need to tell you about donkey racing now. Thank you very much to Andy, who sent this in. And this is the traditional Corrida de Burros, the donkey racing from central Portugal. I don't think they race from Ancash to Anadia. I don't think it's as far as that. But let me tell you what Andy says about this. This coming up on the 17th of August there. It's back, he says, the fantastic day of the donkey through the Ruas of Ancash, man. And through the Ruas of Ancash, man and beast take to the streets. This playful event has the local farmers in fancy dress trying to stay on their asses as they race bareback up and down the main thoroughfare, cheek by jowl with the public. It's all done in a light-hearted, fun way with the donkeys who are stars of the show, and they know it, mollycoddled by the riders and public alike. Then after that, everyone heads to the town square to party with the many bands and other entertainment. It's a fantastic traditional event that should not be missed, so mark your diaries. Take a few euros to buy a bifana and a beer from the tents, plus get one of the great official donkey t-shirts. Then line the streets and enjoy the crazy spectacle. That sounds like fun. If you haven't been to the Bayrada district, that is a great initiation and introduction in the little town of Ancaster, right next to lovely Anadir, where Carl used to live, says Andy. He always says that. I have to put that little joke in there from Andy. Thank you very much for that, mate. And that's I'm putting the link to that event into the chat now. Let's resolve. Let's take a breathe out. It's been a busy one this morning, hasn't it? It's a ciao from Portimao, from Victoria. Good morning and goodbye, Paul El Pup. I hope he feels better soon. Stay well, everyone. Ciao, Gilda from Francis. Love chat also moving to Portugal. Yeah, a love chat we've had to get rid of. Sorry about that, everybody, with all that spam going into the chat this morning. But I think they've been dealt with there. Who else has a comment before we leave? Carl, I need to ask you a question this morning. I'll call you in a while. Oh, promises. Yeah, lots of love to Manny and Sunny Jill saying in reference to D7 visa, when do the citizenship period starts counting? You'll have to come back next Monday. I don't really understand the question, and I'm not the best able to answer these questions. We leave it to the professionals. EI, who you can find in our business directory. Go check them out and set up your first consultation call with EI and tell them how you heard about them. Right here on the Good Morning Portugal show with expatsportugal.com. Lamento, Gilda, sending speedy, healthy and healing vibes to little Manny there. And from Manel Solado, hello from London. Good morning. And good morning right back at you there, Manuel, in London. I hope you're doing well over there. Is it still hot? The weather then, let's have a very quick look at the weather before we go, because I like to do that on a Monday, give you how the weather's looking for the rest of the week. Let's bring that onto the screen for you and see how we're doing there, see what the temperature is going to be like for the rest of the week. Expatsportugal.com weather, folks. Here it is on your screen. And we'll have a look at the major parts of the country, and we'll go into deeper detail, along with those photos from the Azores tomorrow from Tony Medeiros. Thank you for sending those in, Tony. What else did I have missed this morning? It's been a packed show, isn't it? Oh, and Obidos. Did anyone see the fantastic pictures, videos from Obidos? I went back along my Facebook timeline to try and find the video for you, which I've been given permission to show. What's been going on at Obidos at the Medieval Festival has been amazing. John's lingo tip, we've got that. Clive's lovely confectionery from Lagos. We've got that. Philomena's Nun's Delight. We had that. Oh, Ali, we'll come back to you with your lovely photography from the Algarve as well. Thank you, Ali, for giving me permission to share those as well. I think that just about does it. No gardening show tonight at 6:15. It's our first Monday of the month, so we're having an inner team meeting. But we'll be back next Monday with the gardening Q&A from 6:15. But of course, tonight, the Wine Club returns at 9 o'clock. Do join us with your bottle of Pedro. No, not Pedro Gato. What's it called? Let me just bring that onto the screen so you can see the one we're talking about. If you want to rush out to Continent to buy it, where I think it's on offer still. Yes, Pedra, not Pedro. Pedra de Gato. Cat's Paw, the red from the Dow. That's tonight at 9 o'clock. So very quickly then, just a look at the weather before we have to go. Lisbon, 26. That'll be 79. A high of 88 Fahrenheit in the capital today. 31. And it's going to cool off towards the end of the week, I can see in Lisbon. But still, 28, 25 by the weekend there. Porto, 26 at the moment with a lovely clear sky, and similar temperatures for the rest of the week, although dipping a little bit towards the weekend, but nice, hot, sunny week in Porto with temperatures of around 26, 24, 25, that sort of thing. Central, Coimbra, 39 today, my goodness. Currently 23 with a clear sky. Started out at 20, will rise to 39, and Faro, a very pleasant 28 degrees at the moment, and a clear sky. That's going to be your top temperature today, 28 in the Algarve, and similar temperatures for the rest of the week. Check out the weather on our weather page. I'll put that in the comments as well. And I'll wish you a very good week and a good Monday, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Let me just tell you who's on the show tomorrow morning. we have with us on this first Tuesday of the month. I believe we have got, here we go. We have Daniel, our lawyer in Lisbon, will join us tomorrow morning, and Dr. Michael Averbrook from Serenity. If you've got any medical questions or want to know how to interface with the medical system, insurance and healthcare, then join us tomorrow morning. And yes, congratulations to Lee. Oh, Buddy's in. Hi and bye. Me in quaking and possibly erupting Iceland. Wow, yes, earthquakes and indications of another eruption is about to happen in my neck of the lava fields are ongoing. My goodness, Buddy. What are you doing over there? You've returned to eruptions in Iceland. And yes, congratulations to Lee. So let's just put one more lovely picky of beautiful Eve, who we welcomed to this world at the end of last week. Here she is. Congratulations, Lee, and to you, Sandra. What a beauty! Little Eve there. Have a great week, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Ciao for now. Welcome to the world, little Eve. Where's our outro? Here we go. Goodbye. Ciao, ciao. Adios.